Hello everyone, now we're going to discuss how to write a title and an introduction for a craft description. Well, let's take a look at this wonderful bar chart over here. And here, a title is already given, and many students in their graph descriptions would write a title that is given to the chart by default. However, this is wrong. Why? Because a title should include the information about X and Y axis. And this kind of a title is not complete for this reason. Well, let's see what a good title would look like. You can pause the video if you want to check yourselves. Pause the video and write a title yourself. And make sure you include the information about X and Y axis. All right, so hopefully you have done that. You have written the title yourself. Let's see what a good title looks like this. So what is the difference between the first option and second option? Well, you can see here we have 9 Asian countries. What is that? What is this thing about? It's the information about x-axis. You can see on the x-axis, you can see the names of 9 Asian countries. If there are just a few countries mentioned there, like if there were 3 or 4, you would probably want to write them down, like Vietnam and India, or Vietnam, India, and Malaysia. But since 9 of them, the title would take half a page long if you write them down. So you just can say 9 Asian countries to sum it up. Then also you have these years, which are basically the information from the y-axis. All right, so yeah, that's the thing about the title. And remember, we don't write a full stop in a title, and we don't write brackets, we don't write quotation marks. It should look exactly like this, and you make the first word start with a capital letter. All right, what about the introduction? The introduction is very similar to the title. That's why we're talking about them together. Just like the title, it includes the information about X and Y axis. However, it starts with a sentence, like a general sentence, just like a topic sentence that shows what is the graph in general about, what does it show in general, right? And then you move on to talking about x-axis and units of measurement if necessary, if it's applicable, and y-axis. So in general, introduction would take 2 to 3 sentences, nothing more than that, and use these phrases to start the introduction. This graph or chart illustrates or compares or describes or depicts. Remember to use s in the end of the verb because you talk about one graph. If there are 2 graphs, of course, you would say illustrate, compare, describe, or depict. Well, we have here the title that we talked about in the previous slide. And what we do, we just use the same information to write the first sentence of the introduction. Take a look. You start with one of these phrases, and since we talk about a bar chart, it compares values, right? So you can say this bar chart compares, and then you use the title, the information from the title, and you complete the sentence. That's how you start the introduction. Then you talk about the x-axis, what it shows, right? It shows the countries, the 9 countries, and here you can mention them, like list them in brackets. And y-axis shows, what does it show? It shows a number of elephants, the number of Asian elephants in these 2 years, 1997 and 2004. Well, here I have written units of measurement if needed, well, in this case, it's not really important. Why? Let's take a look back at the graph. For the x-axis, it doesn't matter because these are the names of countries, but no units, no kilometers, liters, centimeters, or something, right? And y-axis, it's kind of clear that like 1,000 elephants, right? Not 1,000 or something. So here you can skip this point. The units of measurement are not that important. But let's talk about the example where the units of measurement are important. So we have here a line graph, yeah, and oopsie, and that's what the introduction for this line graph would look like. Yeah. Well, you can say the line graph compares and what it compares in general. Yeah, again, we would look at the title, would be very similar to the title. And then when we talk about the x-axis, see, it shows, this x-axis shows what? Not, well, it's not advisable kind of to use things like the x-axis shows the weeks. The weeks, they are measurements, years, days, hours, weeks, centuries. That's the duration, yeah, the period of time, the duration of something. So weeks, these are units of measurement. And if you look, it goes from week 1 to week 3. So what is the unit of measurement? Like 2 weeks. 1 week, because from week 1 to week 3, it's not week 1, week 2, week 3, week 4. Yeah, so 2 week units, which is important to mention. And then when we look at y-axis, it shows obviously the height of a plant in centimeters. And that's why it's important to mention that. Why? Because it can be kilometers, it can be centimeters, millimeters, it can be, I don't know, something else, some another measurement of length or height. Yeah. So that's why it is important to say that the y-axis shows the height of corn and parsley in centimeters, not meters, not kilometers, not millimeters. All right. So that's all for now. That's it. If you have any questions, feel free to ask them.